What is going on, everyone? It's Super here, and welcome to another Injustice 2 video. And today I'm going to answer the question, at least in my opinion, that a lot of people have been asking me, which is it worth it? Is all this time, all this energy, all this free time, by the way, that we don't all have? We got shit to do. We got work, got school, social life. Is it worth sacrificing some of that for this grind of the epic gear, or excuse me, the legendary gear for Injustice 2? Now, of course, I only have 3 pieces. I mean, there's some people who have a lot more than I do. God bless them. They're very lucky because they get to play with that legendary gear. But I'm gonna give you guys my opinion on the 3 legendary pieces of gear that I have. I'm gonna go in order in you know, the order that I unlocked it. I'm gonna give you guys the pros, the cons, and then I'll give you guys a straight up answer on whether I think it was worth it. Not only for me as a YouTuber, because all these are worth it as a YouTuber. I'm gonna be 100% honest. As a YouTuber, being able to make these videos is 100% worth it, because it's, you know, legendary gear stuff. You know, you can make videos off it, content. But the other positive thing about being a YouTuber and being able to showcase this is giving my opinion, and, you know, maybe you guys could, I don't know, decide for yourself after I give you guys my opinion on the legendary gears. So let's get into it. I'm gonna talk about this as a non-YouTuber, you know, standpoint, just gameplay and practicality, all that good stuff. So number 1, Swamp Thing. I'll give you guys my verdict immediately on Swamp Thing before I give you guys pros, cons, whatever. To me, it was 100% worth it because I love playing Swamp Thing. I think he's one of the top 5 most fun characters for me to play. Not only because, you know, he has long limbs, or I guess not long limbs, like long range attacks. He does do really good damage. He's a command grab character, which I like command grabs. And he just looks visually like amazing. Like, to me, he's one of the best looking characters in the game. The way he moves, you know, everything is cool about Swamp Thing. So to me personally, I think like just getting the legendary gear for Swamp Thing, and the fact that it adds, like, this is the actual ability, it adds an air dash ability for Swamp Thing. Now, Swamp Thing is one of those characters that is very, very slow. He has long range, but he does not have good mobility. What the legendary gear does, it actually gives him a mobility tool, which he desperately needs, especially versus some zoning characters. Now, if it's a character like Deadshot, it's probably not going to work as well as a character with slower projectile. But the fact that your opponent has to think about you maybe air dashing once in a while, you know, it puts a little bit more fear into your opponent as opposed to slowly walking up to your opponent like Swamp Thing does. So not only is the ability of an air dash really good for Swamp Thing's mobility, but it's actually insanely good with his jump-ins. Swamp Thing has 3 really good jump-ins. His jump 1 is his cross-up. It's like a knee attack, you know, some spikes come out of it, has a really good hitbox. You could cross up with it, you could stay on the same side, and you could convert it into a full combo. His jump 2 is this massive club that he swings on the way down. That one you could actually air dash from 3/4 of the screen, and you're still gonna hit your opponent with a jump in. And once you hit your opponent with a jump in with that jump 2 with the club, if you input your you know, any sort of combo string in mid-air before it even hits, it's gonna, you know, what people call dialing up your combo, and it's gonna come out as soon as the person gets hit by the attack or blocks the attack. So hell yeah, man, this thing, this aerial dash, I wish he had. I would give up many things from Swamp Thing's like core gameplay mechanics to get this air dash, because, you know, it's something that they even highlight in the outro. He gets the wings in the outro. I don't understand why they couldn't have made this, you know, a little buff that Swamp Thing got after you know, the last couple patches, or after the big patch when they said, oh, we're gonna buff Swamp Thing. You know, this could have been something really good that would have helped out the character tremendously. It doesn't make him overpowered at all. Like, there aren't too many situations or too many fights where I'm like, damn, this thing came so much in handy that it's ridiculous, but it does come in handy. That's the thing, it helps out Swamp Thing. So for Swamp Thing, 100%. If you guys are Swamp Thing fans, you like playing this character a lot, and he's one of your favorites, then definitely go for the legendary gear. His is actually one of the easiest ones, probably the easiest set of like requirements to get this legendary gear, but all these will take a long time to get, or about a week to get, I would say, of grinding different things. So Swamp Thing, hell yeah, for sure. Now let's move on to Bane. Bane was an interesting one. Bane is the one that I really wanted to get because it gives me a reason to play Bane, because a lot of people actually really like to see Bane, highly requested character all the time. Since I made that one video, like, I don't know, week 2 of the game where I got like a 800% combo or 800 damage, a lot of people always want me to play Bane, and my Bane sucks. So this was like a little way for me to like play Bane, get used to his moves, like grind with Bane a little bit, because let me tell you right now, with Bane, you're going to have to manually do a lot of things. Like for 75% of the requirements for Bane, I did myself, which that takes so long. That one really took me a long time to, get 200 super moves, just 100, I think it's called mercenary elbow, like meter burn to finish the match off. 200 Bane bombs. Oh man, it took so long and it was so tedious and so boring. So now let's talk about the actual legendary gear. Was it worth it? I really can't decide because I had fun with it. But if you want a yes or no answer, I think the Bane gear is not worth it. I really do not. Like I said, I had fun. What I did that was very interesting and, changed it up a little bit was I actually stacked the Bane legendary gear with the supercharge ability, which grants Bane 50% more damage, or I don't know if it's 50%, but it's definitely a high percentage extra damage when he's in his Venom states. And the cool thing about that is that since you get no like effects when you're in cooldown from the Venom, you're doing like a ton more damage with no like cooldown side effects. You know what I mean? So if you do actually get a combo with level 3, not only are you going to be doing a ton of damage because it's level 3, but you're going to be adding the special ability, the supercharge ability, to get even more damage. So when I had that on, I was getting some crazy damage combos like consistently over and over. Just the regular bread and butter combo was doing like 600 damage. So in that instance, damage-wise, it's pretty good. But the one thing that really like kills this legendary gear for me, honestly, is the thing that they don't even tell you about in the actual like moves list when it's describing what the legendary ability does, which is anytime they use Bane's Venom, either level 1, 2, or 3, you actually take a specific amount of damage whenever that Venom is over. So if I pop Venom number 1, just the 1 tube, okay, I get little bit of increase, I get some armor on my moves. Once the bar goes down to 0 and it starts going on cooldown, you actually lose about 60 damage, like 6%, somewhere around there. And it gets worse and worse and worse. So level 2, you lose about 180 damage. Level 3, you lose over 300 damage. Let me repeat that. If you go to level 3 Venom with Bane, once that Venom goes away, you are going to lose over 300 of your life bar. That is not good. That is actually not worth it at all, because what does the Bane cooldown do? Okay, so you take more damage, right? Let's just say you get hit by a regular combo. Or maybe not a regular combo, because you're going to be playing very defensive. So you get hit by a couple moves here and there. It's actually going to be less damage taken than the 300, my Bane at least, 330 damage that I was taking every time I wanted to, you know, get the max damage, which is level 3 Venom in a combo. And then once I was done and maybe it didn't kill my opponent, I'm like, wow, I'm dead. This Venom's gonna kill me. And there's a couple times where the Venom killed me. And the worst thing about this is it kills your comeback factor. With Bane, you have a high comeback factor because he does so much damage. So you catch your opponent with one jump in, you pop level 1 Venom, level 2 Venom, level 3 Venom, and you get this really high damaging combo. But when you have this legendary gear, you're scared of popping it because you don't know if it's going to finish your opponent off. And, you know, normal Bane without this legendary gear, it doesn't matter if you're not going to finish off your opponent. Like, it's worth it taking all this level 3 damage, and then you're going to be in cooldown. Yeah, you're going to be in cooldown for, you know, an extended period of time, because level 3 I think takes around 5 seconds. But that's when you play very defensive, you use your down one, and you just like wait it out. That's so much better than losing 300 damage and then 180 damage for level 2. There are some instances where you can't even use level 1 anymore. If you're under 10% health, you're not going to use level 1 anymore, because you're going to lose a lot of that life that you could be using to potentially come back. So that one downside to Bane's like ability being you know, losing so much of that damage to your own health bar for you working your ass off for this legendary gear and doing all the manual requirements, which are a lot for Bane. It's a pain in the ass for, you know, something that is such a big downside of Bane. It's crazy. So if that wouldn't exist, or maybe it was a lot less damage, maybe cut each in half, I would say hell yeah, it's worth it, because you could stack it with this supercharge. Yeah, you lose armor on your, you know, Venom whenever you call it, but whenever you do get the hit, you get so much damage. Or, you know, don't stack it with supercharge and you still get all this armor. It's great, but that one negative effect is too much in my opinion. So for you guys trying to go for the Bane gear, I say, you know, if you are huge fans of Bane, you could go for it if you want, but my recommendation is you skip Bane, because his legendary gear is not worth it. Plus, there's a lot more Bane, you know, headpieces, or, you know, headpieces, the Venom pieces that look way cooler than the legendary gear. So Bane, not worth it at all. So moving on now to Batman. Batman's the newest acquisition of my legendary collection, and for Batman, I'm gonna say that it's not worth it right off the bat. I'm not even gonna waste time with Batman. There's so many more belts that look cool. The triple jump, you never use it because you want to be in someone's face all the time. The forward jump, the forward like hover, you're not gonna use it. You're vulnerable in the air. Your opponent could just hit you out of it, and then you get comboed. And then the other things, the only thing that I would say, you know, is something that would be useful as far as this legendary gear is the, you know, 300 plus attack, ability, defense, and then the 150 health. Like, the stats on the gear actually do carry over to, you know, having some serious, you know, upgrades to Batman's gear. But then again, Batman already has a ton of gear sets and a ton of gear that give him, you know, huge defense and health and damage, stuff like that. So what I'm trying to say is that when I stacked my legendary gear with something like the Kryptonite infused armor, I felt like a freaking boss character, because I had such high defense and I had high offense. And another, you know, little perk of the legendary gear is that it actually increases the damage on your batarangs by, I think, 5%, somewhere around there. And of course, you're going to be using your meter burn batarang to get combos. So it does do a little bit more damage than normal. And also your mechanical bats do 50% increased damage, which isn't a lot. I think the mechanical bats do like 3% or 1% each. So this bumps it up to like 2% each, somewhere around there. But I would say, like, for the grind of the legendary gear, I think there are a lot others that are a lot more worth it than the Batman legendary gear. I wanted to get it because I, of course, wanted to make some videos and I wanted to see how it looked. I don't think I had seen how it looked, or you know, I hadn't seen it in a long time, and I just wanted to have it because I do enjoy playing Batman. You know, throw it on there a couple times, but for like the grind of the legendary gear, oh man, I'm gonna say it's not worth it. Even though, like I said, the stats do complement some of Batman's gear, and you know, just having that plus 300, plus 300, plus 300, plus 150, it's pretty good. If they were to have had, you know, something else be the actual perk and like ability that you get from getting this legendary gear for all that time, man, I'm gonna say Batman's legendary gear is not worth it. So that is gonna be the end of today's video. Trying to be as honest as I can, not as a YouTuber standpoint, but just as a, you know, player standpoint. Because for a YouTuber, all these legendary gears are worth it. Not gonna lie, because we, you know, we can make videos on it. But being a YouTuber now, you guys could listen to what I have to say about the legendary gear and then decide for yourself if you want to go through this grind. But as far as my chart and my, like, you know, rating of if it's worth it or not, just black and white, is it worth it or not? Swamp Thing, hell yeah, it's worth it for me. I'll do it any day to get that Swamp Thing ability. It's a lot of fun. I have a lot of fun doing the air dash, and it actually really helps out his gameplay and his mobility. Number 2, Bane, not worth it because of the crazy damage that you take if you go in any, you know, if you use any of your Venom. Level 1, 2, or 3. 3 is just ridiculous. Like, sometimes it's not even worth doing it. So, Bane, legendary gear, worth it? Hell no. Number 3, Batman, legendary gear. Is it worth it? I'm not going to say hell no, but I am going to say no. It's not worth it for all the grinding, because it is a grind to get this legendary gear. All the grinding you have to do to get these legendary gears. There's a lot better, you know, better looking gear pieces and just pieces that give you like better ability than getting this Batman legendary gear. So it's not even like the coolest looking belt that he has. I don't think it's in the top 3 actually. He has like really cool looking belts. So Batman, not worth it. So that is going to be the end of today's video. As I get more legendary pieces, I'll talk about them. Next up is Scarecrow, then probably Supergirl and Flash. Those are probably going to be the ones that I go for. But that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys next time. What's going on? It's Super here, and thank you for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you guys subscribed if you are not already. Also, check out any of these videos linked at the top. Thank you for watching, and I will see you guys next time.